Yeah, I think what's really annoyed me though about the weekend with Paul Pogba. Now I have a lot of respect for him, but he came out in an interview saying that he can't describe his feelings about United at the moment because he would get fined for saying it. And that's basically saying he does love playing for the club, but he can't answer his love for it at the moment. It's clearly problems there with him and Mourinho. And can I just say, get on with it. Can I just say, get on with it? Because the guy earns 200, 300, I don't know how much. He makes enough money. There's a lot of us that do jobs that do something for under 20 grand a year that we despise, and we work very hard to make ends meet. This is a guy who kicks a plastic ball around the pitch. And, you call that hard work. I'm sorry, that's not hard work. There's people who go to the army and go abroad and they don't know if they're going to come back because they work very hard. What I'm trying to say is that Paul Pogba is doing my head in because he thinks he's number one at Man United. He hasn't proved that to me. We can replace him tomorrow in my eyes because he hasn't done it. And we're seeing signs that this is why Fergie let him go in the first place. And I'm starting to think that maybe Mourinho would be better off without him. What do you think?
Well, I can't compete with that rant.
No.
Yeah, I mean, he obviously I'm not a United fan, so
really?
Yeah, so I'm not going to be saying how great Paul Pogba is, but he is a talent. We know he is, and you've seen a bit of it for Manchester United. Obviously, Juventus, that's where he sort of grew into this player, but. Yeah, it hasn't worked for him yet. Now it's his third season back at United, is it? So if it's going to happen, it needs to happen this season. It doesn't matter who's the manager. It doesn't matter who's in your team. You're the mate. You're the man. You have to deliver. So Pogba has to do that. No matter what. If Mourinho tells you to defend, you defend like there's nothing else on the line. You have to do your job that your manager asks you to do. So. I think he just needs to stop talking to the press and stop making stupid quips like I'm going to get fined if I say something. Just shut up and go back in the dressing room, really, isn't it? If you haven't got anything decent to say, don't say anything.
I think this is why I respect Paul Scholes and Roy Keane and all that a lot, Andrew, because they've always said on TV that they don't understand all this thing about players having social media. They spend more time on Instagram posting things than they do focusing on free kicks. That's just modern era football now, and this, for me, is another good example.
It is. Right, first, I was going to make a point then about Roy Keane. I think with Pogba, I'd say with Jack, as in, just don't say anything like that. Why are you saying those comments?
Well, you're going to benefit from it.
I think the way to deal with that situation is you just stay quiet, you don't say a word, or if you are going to say something, go all out and say what you think, like Roy Keane would have done, like Roy Keane did, and then he ended up leaving Old Trafford because of it. But I think it's either don't say anything or don't just tease what's underneath the surface. If you're going to go and say something's going to get you in trouble, just go all out and make you he's clearly in the mire as it is now with Jose for whatever he said, and that coming off the back of a game where he's made captain. Jose praised him afterwards. He scored the opening goal. Granted, it was a penalty. So you're thinking he's had a good weekend, and then he goes and ruins it with that. Yeah. So if you're going to ruin it with that, then go out and just say what you want. But no, I agree. You hear about these players. It is literally, it's all about it's the social media age. It's all about Twitter. It's all about Instagram. It's all about silly haircuts. I'm not saying silly haircuts are new to football. They're not. But it's you have to be able to do what some of them do in terms of the aura, the celebrity that surrounds them that they've created for themselves. They have to have done something to prove that first. You have to rather than just being all hype, you have to have the substance first. Then if you can do that while hyping yourself up, while bigging yourself up, while being all over social media, granted, fair enough, but you've got to back it up on the pitch. You've got to back it up in the way you approach games. That's the problem.
My favourite thing is when he first came back to United and he's like the announcement was I'm back, and he was like, but who are you?
Pogback,
yeah. What who cares? He hadn't done, even at Juventus. Yeah, okay, he made a bit of a name for himself, but he hadn't done enough to go, I'm the biggest player in the world, I'm joining United. Yeah, he came for a record fee at that time.
I think.
But it's like, you haven't done enough for that. It's not like Paul Scholes. Paul Scholes came back.
And he won the Premier League.
But we knew who he was. We knew it was Paul Scholes. But when Pogba comes back to United and he's like, "Yeah, I'm back," it's like, who cares? I know ultimately,
not a proven player.
This is a bit of a hot take, but he's a bit like Balotelli in one aspect. He's got the ability, but all he cares about is attitude, publicising himself. It's all social media. It's all haircuts. It's all my branding. And all that. It's not what can I do on the pitch? Because he plays well for the French national team because he's got to. Otherwise, he won't get picked. But United, he knows he can walk in.
Yeah.
Not being funny, but he can walk into that team.
And something tells me Pogba's attitude might have changed a little bit since the World Cup, because he can say I'm a World Cup winner now. I'm not saying pay me more money, but it's like respect me.
Well, I'm sure you all saw there was that video that came out from before the World Cup final where he's got the French players around the table and he's rallying them all. It's all subtitled and he's just basically getting them to just showing proper leadership qualities, which you haven't really seen from him at Man United. So maybe you're thinking, well, if he's doing this for France, then he's clearly got it in him to do that, to take on that responsibility, to cut out all the word that I can say on the air, all the other stuff, just focus on all the nonsense. Yeah, very good word, and just focus on the football. He can clearly do that. I know he's talked himself again, talking to the press about how it's different for France because he has a manager that believes in him, lets him play who he wants to play. But it's the team isn't there to be built around you necessarily. It's in rare occasions, yeah, that can happen. But a team like Manchester United, they're not really built around one player. Even Cristiano Ronaldo years ago, it wasn't built around Cristiano Ronaldo. It wasn't built around Eric Cantona or David Beckham or Roy Keane or Mark Hughes, even going back to the early 90s.
I think that's what made Fergie a good manager. He never let the players take over him, no matter who they were. He'd say,
David Beckham, Sam, when he had a line, and if you crossed it, doesn't matter how important you were to that team. Ruud van Nistelrooy dropping him for the cup final for Louis Saha to say, basically, sorry, Ruud, I think Saha's a better fit for the team now. And this is Ruud van Nistelrooy, who went to Real Madrid from there and banged in goals for fun for them and for, I think, Schalke then in Germany. Yeah. So he's Fergie. It was no matter how good you are, if you did something that was out of line or you thought maybe your time was coming to an end, he would make that call. But the modern day footballer, especially someone like Paul Pogba, expects to be model called. They expect the arm around the shoulder all the time. They're always right. They're always in the right. They're not there to play for the club. The club are there to basically get the benefit of them playing for them. It's a weird world that we find football in these days.
And it's funny because the game when he scored 2 goals against Man City, that's when I felt that is the Pogba we've wanted. That's leading the team and to help them get back from getting themselves in a hole and getting themselves back out of it. And that was the only match I could say Pogba was.
That was a Roy Keane-esque performance. Not to hark on about Roy Keane,
and he looked like a leader when he scored. He kept telling the players, like, go back, you've got to score again.
There was no stupid dances. There was no arsing around. It was just a case of, right, let's do this, back to business, let's carry on.
Exactly, and we saw that with Rooney as well. He was like, there was a leader at the club, and he was praised a lot for